From the Tennessee Department of Labor and Workforce Development, this is Tennessee Workforce Today. Here now is Chris Cannon.
Hi everyone and welcome to Tennessee Workforce Today, the first edition for 2019. Nearly 6 years ago, Governor Bill Haslam appointed Burns Phillips Commissioner of the Department of Labor and Workforce Development. In less than 2 weeks, Tennessee will have a new governor and this department will have a new commissioner. Today we look back on Commissioner Phillips' time as the leader of this agency, the changes and improvements made during his tenure, and we'll talk about what's next after he leaves state government in a few weeks. Commissioner Phillips joins us now. And Commissioner, when you came here 6 years ago, what was the top priority when you took over the department?
Well, actually, there were several, Chris. The first was probably the unemployment insurance program was dysfunctional at best. The workforce system across the state had also been ignored for some time. So those were two of the biggest priorities that I saw, and also they consume a significant portion of the department's budget.
So when you came in and you realized those priorities, what was the first thing you did, or how did you make those priorities become a reality?
Well, I knew that they were problems, but I also knew that we had an awful lot of very talented people in this department. Many of them were just not in the right place. So what we tried to do was to make sure that we got those individuals who had some history and had some skills and the talents needed to take these problems on. That was the first thing. After that, we had to move the department away from the analog world, if you will, into the digital world, which is what we're very much into now,
Sure.
Worldwide. And so we had to try to come up with some tools that would help us move away from that, the old world of analog into the new world of digital. And that required getting some tools and convincing everybody that those tools were good not only for the department, but were good for the individuals as well. And so that we went out and we got several tools. We immediately converted, when we got here, for example, in unemployment insurance, we were receiving about 800,000 phone calls a month, around 500,000 pieces of paper, and we were 64,000 claims in backlog. And we really didn't know what the root cause of that was. Everybody had tried to deal with the symptoms, and those are the symptoms, by hiring more people, but we really needed to know what the real root cause, what was causing it. And so I asked Dustin Swain, who was my deputy, and who was far more tech savvy than I was and am, to see if we couldn't find a program that helped us do that. And he did, and brought that in, and it's a product called Zendesk. But before that, we actually, on our own, converted the process involving paperwork to digital by converting a little supply room here on the ground floor from a storeroom into a room that had 3 or 4 people in it, converting paperwork into digital. So that was really the first step. So we tackled these programs, specifically UI, by getting technology, and then eventually we moved that into the workforce system as well.
When you look back now, the actions you took 6 years ago, did they pay off?
Oh, absolutely. As a matter of fact, over the years, we were able to integrate both the unemployment insurance program and the workforce system, as well as really all the other divisions, but those two primarily. And they paid off in that we eliminated all the backlog. We increased and improved our customer service and customer satisfaction by going to the digital world. We brought in tools that actually measured the success by measuring customer satisfaction. And after all, that's really the only true metric. If you're in a service organization, you want your customers to be happy. And if they're giving you high rankings, you're probably doing most things right. And so we had the tools that enabled us to do that, and we've maintained a very high customer satisfaction rate for probably the last 3 years because of the tools and the individuals that we brought in that were talented to run them.
How important was it to change the culture within the department and kind of get everybody on the same page and working towards the same goals?
That's an excellent question, because no matter how much technology you have, if you don't have the right culture and you don't have the right leadership, it's not going to work. And even if it works for a while, it won't be sustained. And so when we first got here, the culture was lacking. And so we had set out a few simple rules. Too many organizations have far too many rules, and that stifles creativity, innovation, creates fear. So when we came in, we decided we would establish 3, 4, 5 simple rules. And the first rule we established was that the only thing that mattered in this department was how you did your job. It didn't make any difference what the color of your skin was, whether you were tall or short, thin or thick, what your religion was. None of that mattered. The only thing that mattered was how you did your job. And secondly, we established that everybody would treat everybody else in the department with dignity and respect. That's to be expected. And even if you don't like the individuals that you're working with, maybe they have some idiosyncrasies that get under your skin, well, we all have to learn to overlook those if people are performing. Just ask a married couple. They tend to overlook those in home. So we want to make sure everybody was treated with dignity and respect. We wanted to remove fear. So what we did is establish a culture that if you make a mistake, it's not fatal to your employment. What it is an opportunity to get better. So we never used any of the tools that helped us identify how well somebody was performing. We never used those punitively. We always used it as a way to say, listen, in that situation you might have been able to do it this way or handle it a little bit differently. But we never used it to hurt anybody and in terms of jeopardizing their job. And we also said that, you're going to have fun. We're going to have an environment where you enjoy coming to work. Life's too short otherwise. We're all adults. We know what the parameters are. So we're going to have fun. We're going to engage with each other. We're not going to have a sterile environment. And that was basically the simple rules. I mean, you get too
You
carried
have a
away.
motto too that you live by too. If it's not,
Yeah, if it's legal and it won't kill anybody, give it a go. And that really was about you create an environment where people are not afraid to make decisions. You push decision-making authority out to the edges of the organization where people do the work, not up on my level. And you give those individuals information they need, the tools they need to make timely and informed decisions. And when you empower them, people tend to embrace that because you're telling them they're important. And so we have pushed that out to the periphery of our organization. Very rarely is a decision pushed up to my level. We don't want that. We want the decision made as close to the customer as possible. And so our whole philosophy is if you give them the tools they need, the employees the tools they need, the information they need to make decisions, or if you create an environment where they're not afraid to suggest ideas or even disagree with management, you're going to have people who will embrace the concept of if it's legal and it won't kill anybody, give it a go. Something that fear stifles. So we've always wanted to eliminate that aspect of fear.
when you look back to 2013 versus 2019, do you think this department is serving the people of Tennessee better than it was then?
Absolutely. We have, in our unemployment insurance program, for the last almost probably 18 months, we have exceeded the first-time pay rate, which is the measure by USDOL in terms of payment. We completely reorganized and realigned the workforce system from 13 areas to 9. Both of those have gained national recognition, especially the workforce program. We've had 17 states that have come to us to ask specifically about how Tennessee did the realignment, and beyond that, what the tools were that we used to unite or integrate, if you will, unemployment insurance and the workforce system, because we're the first state in the union to do that. And I know Jim Henry said one time to me, Deputy Governor, the highest compliment a department can have is when other states come to them and ask them how you accomplish something. And so we feel like that's a testament to how well this department has performed over the last 6 years. And again, it's really about the people. Everybody talks about digital transformation, and digital is important these days. But again, if you don't have the right people, you don't have the right leadership, you don't have the right culture, it's not going to succeed. We have all that here. We have great people, skilled people, and we've let them to be the very best that they could be. And that's why we've been able to achieve what we have.
We just have a few minutes left, and what's up next for you? You've already announced you're not staying, and
No.
Governor-elect Lee has announced the new commissioner.
Yes.
Dr. Jeff McCord is coming
right.
in. What's next for you?
Well, I'm leaving along with my deputy, Dustin Swain, and we've created a consulting company that is targeting the business community, but also government to help them accomplish digital transformation. Because in the world today, with the way things are changing, the old structure of business, the hierarchical, top-down management is really going away. And if businesses do not embrace the new agile environment, they're going to be replaced by those that do.
Yeah.
And it doesn't make any difference if you're a huge business or if you're a small business. A lot of the businesses know, especially the bigger businesses, they know that they have to do it, they just don't know how to do it. And so we hope that we'll be able to help them move along and remain competitive, remain in business. So we're starting that, of course, after the 19th, the last day, and we're looking forward to it. It's going to be exciting, and it's new.
It is new. It is
new. So it's sort of breaking new ground.
And change is good.
That's right, absolutely.
Well, Commissioner, thank you very much for talking with us today, and thank you very much for the last 6 years. I know I and everyone here thanks you for the opportunities that you've given all of us.
Well, I really appreciate the commitment that everybody in the department has given to us and how they've embraced the opportunities and how they've made the most of it and really turned this department around to be a department that is respected and honored. And so it's great just to be a small part of that.
All right, Commissioner, thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it, Chris.
And that's all the time we have for this edition of Tennessee Workforce Today. We'll see you back here on the first and third Monday of every month. For all of us here at the Tennessee Department of Labor and Workforce Development, I'm Chris Cannon. We'll see you next time.